Are your organizing goals keeping you cluttered and in chaos? Most people set out with the intention that is absolutely pure. They want to get organized. They are done with the clutter running their lives. They want to feel like their home is in service to them. They are done. And then we set these goals and intentions, which feel really good because they're naming the thing that we want to experience the most. But then we launch in and something about these goals are not working because a few days, a few weeks, or a few months in, we find ourselves back where we started. And sometimes we find ourselves worse. And I want to name why that is because it's a really common thing that happens. When January comes around, most people launch into their year saying, I'm going to get organized. Getting organized is up there with losing weight or being healthy. And it's one of the biggest resolutions that we make when it comes to our lives. So why is it, if you are smart and powerful and capable of doing so many things in your life, why is it that organizing feels like it falls off of your list once you've gotten started? Well, there are a few reasons why this happens for most people. So first and foremost, we set a goal that is way too big for what we actually have the ability to deal with. And you see this a lot when I talk to people and I say, what's your goal? Like even right now, think to yourself, what is the number one thing that you would want to accomplish when it comes to getting organized, right? Just when you hold it in your mind. Now, what's interesting is that most people will name something either paper-based or emotionally charged. It's rare that people's big organizing goal is to clear their nightstand. Most people want to tackle the boxes that have been piling up in the office or the old memorabilia in the attic. And the problem with doing those things first when it comes to getting organized is they deliver very little bang for your buck. Those projects, even though you absolutely want and need them to get done, don't tend to show a lot of work once you've put in a lot of time. So you might work for 5 hours and move 1 inch of clutter. And you deserve more than that little inch, right? We need to get you on the board in a big way with a major win. We need to let you see and feel the power of the actions that you're taking. And when we launch in with sometimes too big of a project or a project that feels like it delivers very little for the amount of time, that is a big red flag when it comes to getting organized and setting our goals. What we want to do is set ourselves up for success. What I want is for you to set a goal that seems super easy. Once a week, I'm going to spend 1 hour organizing anything in the house. Once a week, I'm going to spend 20 minutes clearing off the kitchen counter. Whatever it is, I want it to be almost effortless. I want it to feel like, I don't even know that this is worth doing because it absolutely is. What it does is it teaches you to trust yourself again because most people, when they're getting organized, they don't tend to follow through with their projects because their projects are way too big. And then we beat ourselves up and we think there's something wrong with us or we're not capable of getting organized. And that's 1,000% never true. You are absolutely capable of getting organized. Your brain has a natural sense of what is organization for you in your life, and we want to tap into that. The problem is that if we name a project that is just too big or too overwhelming, it freezes us in our tracks, and we don't need that. I want you to think of the process of getting organized is you learning to trust yourself, you showing up for you. It's not about other people. It's not making sure the house is nice when someone pops over unannounced. It's about you living in your space and feeling good and feeling safe and feeling like your needs are met. And you being able to trust yourself, because most people who have struggled with clutter feel like they cannot trust themselves. They've set too many goals and they've watched them fall to the wayside, and we need to stop that right away. And so even though it seems like we're not doing major progress, you learning to trust yourself is the first step. So pick a small project, pick something easy, pick something that matters to you. Obviously, you don't want to do something that doesn't matter. You don't want to do the drawer you never look at, but pick something that feels easy, something you can do in 20 or 30 minutes, and get used to doing smaller projects. And then once you notice that you are actually achieving those smaller projects, then you can move on to bigger things. You want to grow. You want it to be an evolution. You don't want to just launch in. Now, the second thing that I see stopping people from accomplishing their organizing goals is not making enough time. I know we are all busy. We've got a million things going on. It is so important to make time to devote to the projects that are meaningful to us. So when you say you want to get organized and then you make absolutely no time in your week to get organized, that tells me one of two things. Either there's something bigger going on and maybe it's a little overwhelming or stressful and you're trying to avoid it because it's really painful to confront it, or it's not a priority right now. And that's okay. It's not always going to be a priority. Sometimes it's not the priority. I was talking to someone the other day who's a new mom, and she's talking about getting organized and what is it that she needs to do in order to be organized. Well, Mama Bear, it's probably not the right time for you to be working on getting organized. Yes, we want organization to be there, but if you have an hour, please sleep. There are different times of our lives that we will want to call in the process of organization. That's not always the case. And it doesn't mean that you're not going to do it. It just means maybe not right now. And that can be hard for a lot of people, especially those of us who are neurospicy, because we have a lot of experience setting an intention and then not following through. So it can be very scary to think, oh, I won't remember to come back and work on this. I promise your clutter will always remind you to come back and work on this. Do not worry. It is here to help you remember. It just means that today is not that day, and that is okay. I want you to know that you know what is best for you, and there are weeks that having fun with your family is more important than organizing, and weeks that organizing is more important than other big projects that seem important. And so what I want you to do is to take that power back and say, am I really choosing to devote time to this? And if you want to devote time to organizing, great. It can be as little as 20 minutes a week. Really, you do not have to do everything at once. Clutter didn't happen overnight, and it's not going to get resolved overnight. As I would rather have you set an achievable goal that you can do something about, something that doesn't feel stressful, something that doesn't feel overwhelming. Because the other thing about time is that once you break that barrier to entry, once you have started, it's much easier to keep going. So if you set an intention of 15 minutes a week, there's a high likelihood that that 15 minutes is going to turn into 2 hours because you don't have that pressure of expectation. It feels a lot lighter. And so choose a time that feels right to you. You are not going to win all the organizing points by saying, I'm going to organize for 8 hours a day. That's a lot. That's so much to hold. I want you to feel like you can make this an active part of your life, because there's going to be chapters of your life where you need to focus a little bit more on organizing. And then there's going to be times where you don't. And no matter what, all of us need to spend 15, 20, 30 minutes a week tidying up our houses, getting things back to where they go. Even if you are super organized, you're going to be glad that you have that habit of 15 minutes. So taking the time to really set an intention for how much time do I want to spend working on these projects? And again, I know it doesn't seem like it's going to get you organized, but I promise it's about building habits that serve you long term. The third reason why our organizing goals often don't get done is we were never taught how to get organized. So we have this big intention of getting organized, and maybe we don't have the skills to do that. I would never expect you to, go to China and just start speaking Cantonese. I would assume that you would need to take some lessons and learn some things first. That's really important. And so it's the same with organizing. You may have never been taught how to get organized. And more importantly, you may not know how to get organized for your brain, which is different, because if you're neurospicy, you're going to need some specific tricks that work for your brain in order to get and stay organized and for you to stay on topic. You're going to need some specific tools for organizing for your brain. And that is not a detriment. That's absolutely an asset. We want to use the ways that your brain works to create systems that work for you. And if you don't know how to organize, or if you only know a little bit, it's going to make the process really hard. It's going to feel like, oh, I need to climb a mountain, except that, oh no, I don't have shoes, and oh no, I don't have snacks. And what we want to do is we want to have a framework for how to get organized. And again, most of us were never taught that. So that's why I created the 10 steps to get and stay organized, because we need these skills. We need this transfer of information. There are 10 steps for getting and staying organized, starting off with setting an intention. What is my intention for this space? What is it that I am wanting from this space? How do I want it to serve me? How do I want it to look? How do I want it to feel? Tapping into those things are really important. Now, when most people think about getting organized, they think about paring down and they think about setting up systems. That's 2 out of 10 steps, my friend. 2 out of 10 steps. That's not going to get you organized. That's going to keep you spinning your wheels, because you're missing a lot of other really important things that get you organized. If you want to learn these steps, consider taking my 10 steps organizing class. It's super important. We'll teach you everything you need to know. It's quick and easy, and we'll give you the tools that you've been missing that will actually get you organized. And once you have those steps in place, it'll help you tackle any project that you want to take on when it comes to getting organized. Now, if you have a little bit of budget and you want to take the full class, it will take you through and teach you absolutely everything. If you have the desire to take the class and learn in depth all 10 steps, go to starhansen.com/10 steps, and you can sign up to take the class and learn all of the steps that will get you organized and keep you organized. Now, if you're a little curious, you're not ready to jump in, that's okay. If you go to organizingiseasy.com, you can get a really quick handout that'll show you the 10 steps. It's not going to go into depth and teach you how to use each one and really take you to the next level with your organizing, but it will satisfy the curious. If you're really interested to find out like, wait, what am I missing? What's going on here? So please jump in and grab that, because everyone deserves to have the insight in order to get organized. And organizing is easy. It's just that most of us weren't taught it. If your goals are reasonably sized and you actually have time and you know how to organize and you're still not achieving your organizing goals, what's happening? Well, what's happening is there's probably something deeper going on in your clutter. This can be emotional, this can be environmental, this can be relational, this can be something neurodivergent, it can be mental health related. There are over 130 reasons why clutter persists and becomes challenging. And if you are feeling like something like your ADHD or your relationship with your partner or any other element, or maybe something you can't even name, if you feel like there is something coming up that's stopping you from getting organized, you're probably right. There's a lot of reasons why organizing is difficult. And once you've made the time and you've done the small projects and you've given yourself the tools, that's when we want to really open the conversation to what else is going on. If you have something else going on, it's okay. Most people do. Clutter is a very loaded topic. It's got a lot of shame built in there, a lot of fear, a lot of stress. And so if that's the case, please know that you are not alone. I talk to people every single day who are struggling with that, and there's nothing wrong with you. It's just a matter of showing up and holding space. Clutter is often a catalyst for transformation in our lives. Clutter shows us the spaces that we need more love and support, not judgment, not criticism, but love and support. So if you feel like your clutter is beyond the surface and really pointing to something deeper, please know that you are not alone. It's literally the type of client that I work with every single day. Look, organizing is hard, but you are tough. You are tough, you are powerful, you are capable of doing hard things. And we start that by setting an intention. We start by setting a goal that aligns with the time that we have, the skills that we have, and the intentions that we have for our lives. And I know that you are capable of that. So I want you to just take a minute right now and reimagine your organizing goals. What are the goals that you want to do that feel reasonable and within the scope that you're able to tackle right now? And what kind of support do you need in order to feel like you can meet those goals? Because sometimes we need to ask for help. Sometimes we need to reach out. And I know that that can be the hardest thing. I do not like to ask for help myself. I totally get it. But you are worth it. We are worth it. We are worth getting the support in order to live the life that we want, to have the home that we want, to feel good in our homes and our skin and our lives. So I want you to just take a minute to reimagine those goals, to make a list of any kind of support that you need, whether you ask for it or not. Just name what you need, because you deserve it. I am so grateful that you are here, and I will talk to you soon. Have a great day.